Hi, hey, hello. Sorry about that. Guys, I didn't mean to leave you hanging there for a second, but welcome to the channel. Welcome back. Welcome back. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you guys are having a great day today. Um, it is Friday the 19th, 2024, I believe we're in that year. I believe so. And tonight we're going to be talking a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I actually have a case for you guys. So we're going to be talking about Veronica and Jillian tonight, but I do have a case, so like a new case. So if you guys stick around to the end of the live, I will let you know a little bit about it. There's not like a whole lot of information, but it's a case I want to bring to your guys' attention. So if you're interested, then I'll do that at the end. And it's good to see everybody. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Catherine. Oh, and Mary Beth, I did have that bodysuit for you. Hey, Aries. I thought for some reason you said white, and I have the black one in a small. So I can send that one out. And I have both of them packed up. So whichever one you want me to send out in the morning, I'll send out. Hey, Ladybug. Welcome in. It's good to see everybody. National Marijuana Day. I didn't know that. Smoke them if you got them. Hey, Citizen Sleuth. I'm just bouncing around, just tapping names. You know me. Well, it's good to see you guys. If you're new to the channel, we do talk true crime here daily. So that's our thing. That's what we do. Hey, Jean. Hey, Kat K. Ashley. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Solo. I'm like, I know I'm down at the bottom somewhere. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Ashley. Another Ashley. Ashley 1, Ashley 2. Hey, Betsy. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys. I think I saw Princess Meg Elsa as I was scrolling through, and VMath and Alicia. It's good to see everybody. If I forgot you, hi, hello, welcome in. If you're a returning Titan, welcome back. And if you're someone new, well, welcome aboard. We do talk, like I said, true crime here. We do talk it daily. If that's something you're into, then maybe you'll consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, all the good things, all the good things. Let me pull my chat up a little bit more over here on this side. Okay. That way I can see y'all a little bit better. But we are going to be talking about the case that we've been covering. I don't know what they're going to be. I heard a name the other day. They were calling this. I can't remember the name, but it was just like, it just didn't fit. So I've just been calling, the ladies that were kidnapped out of Kansas. Maybe we could call it kidnapping Kansas. I don't know at this point, but I hate when they like attach names to cases, but it does make it a little easier to know what the case is overall. So let me get this up for you guys and share it. Because there, as we all know, there was 4 charged in the kidnapping and unaliving of, I was trying to think if I wanted to use the right word or not, I hate saying unaliving, of Jillian and her friend Veronica. Jillian was a supervised court-ordered supervisor for the custody hearings or custody visitations that Veronica was having with her through her mother-in-law. That's what I'm gonna call her, through Grandma Tifany. And they didn't make it to their last visit. And I think we all know what happened. But we're going to be hearing more and more information coming out in the upcoming months, weeks until trial kind of hits. So we're going to start off with their arrest. I think that we didn't go through the court proceedings. I think that's where we kind of left off because we were going to play the court proceedings, but they didn't end up having where you could, they didn't record it live and they didn't record it and put it out afterwards. So there was no cameras inside the courtroom. Brian Enton was there, of course, probably first in line with his hoodie on. And they told him that he couldn't even bring his hoodie in. He had to go and take it back to the car, even though there was nothing in it. Couldn't bring it in. I guess just in case, but it's very high pressure. The family in the courtroom, I guess, were yelling at the defendants, which it's hard not to. But I guess the judge didn't really even correct anybody. He kind of just, I guess the judge kept just going on their way. Normally they'll say something, like, hey, you guys got to quit it out. Like, cut that out, cut it out, or you're going to get out. I guess it just kind of was like, shh, Yeah, y'all made it to Friday. Guess what? It's Friday. Even though I said on the community tab it was Friday and it was Thursday yesterday. That's fine though, I was just trying to get you here a little faster to Friday. So I'm going to play the short video here of them kind of going into court in case you guys did miss it. And then we'll read over this article. And then I thought we would just go through some different like news things that like Brian Enton was there on scene where the women were like buried. News Nation's been on it. They've really been on this case since they're like a dog with a bone though. Like when they get a hold of something, best believe it, they're going to be broadcasting it as many times as they can. So this is going to be the 4 suspects coming into court. Now, I swear y'all, Cole looks like he's smiling again when he goes by this camera. I don't know if that's just his face or when his eyes squint because of the sun, it makes him look like he's smiling, but I swear y'all, I swear he's smiling. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. So let's see what they got to say about these people.
Paul, do you have anything to say to Jillian and Veronica's families?
Look at him.
Do you have any remorse?
Does he look like he is smiling? I just want to take him back. That's the only person I care. I mean, like, I care about all of them, but he looks like he's smiling.
Veronica's families?
My guy Smiley.
The 4 suspects accused of murdering 2 Kansas mothers show no emotion as they walk into court for the first time. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Herndon. Tifany Adams, Tad Colum, Cole Twombly, and Cora Twombly are each charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy for the deaths of Jillian Kelly and Veronica Butler. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation confirmed Monday that the bodies found Sunday are the missing mothers. Their cause of death still unknown. KSN's Julia Thatcher, the only Wichita reporter in the courtroom in the Oklahoma Panhandle this morning. She explains what happened during the first appearances.
Emotions ran high here today.
Panhandle this morning. She explains Wichita reporter. Julia Thatcher, the only Wichita reporter in the courtroom in the
I thought he said the only reporter. Sorry.
What happened during the first appearances?
Emotions ran high here today. I saw loved ones of Jillian and Veronica hugging each other and law enforcement. Even the sheriff got choked up when we interviewed him. The people with the least amount of emotion are the 4 accused. Our cameras could not go inside the courtroom. Tifany Adams, Tad Colum, Cole Twombly, and Cora Twombly entered the courtroom separately. Each sat at the table nearly motionless as they listened to the charges being read against them. Tifany Adams, the grandmother of Veronica's children, kept her head down as the details echoed through the courtroom. Cora Twombly shook her head no as she heard the charges: murder in the first degree, kidnapping, and conspiracy. Court documents I pulled in Hugoton revealed history of turmoil between Veronica and Tifany. She filed a protection from stalking order in 2022, but the final order was denied because the judge said Veronica testified, quote, "No fear and no threats were made by Tifany."
Do you feel like the justice system failed Veronica?
They 100%.
Has it always been like this with Tifany?
In the last 5 years, 100%, they have failed.
What would you say?
5 years, he says too.
They don't want to
He says 5 years, and that's exactly how long this has been going on, the custody battle.
know. I'm going to have to get off here. Sorry.
Clinton had to be physically restrained as each of the suspects walked into court. I sat a few rows in front of him and could hear him whisper, "She took my daughter," as Tifany walked in the room. All 4 are being held without bond, and that is something that their attorneys can argue at a later date. Cora Twombly is the only one who said she cannot afford an attorney, and that means one will be provided by the state. The DA said a trial could happen in fall or spring of 2025. Here for you, Julia Thatcher, KSN News 3.
And KSN has been tracking this story since it first broke.
Man, she could have used some different makeup. I mean, that was a lot. That was a lot. Not to be rude, but dang, how long does it take you to do that makeup every day, sweetheart? That would take me forever. And I still wouldn't have it done. Okay. I went and clicked over to this page because I accidentally hit that video, and it'll take me back like 4 pages. So if you guys don't mind just taking a second, hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button if you do appreciate the content tonight. It's Friday here, and we're going to read through some court documents. We're going to read through this article real quick. The court documents aren't terribly long. And then we'll look through some videos that they did on News Nation. They're like actually there on the scene. So I thought that would be pretty cool to look at. And I'm not even on the camera. So, oh, awesome. I'm just going to throw my stuff back here, my chapstick. Actually, this is lip gloss, but that's going to have to work. I thought I was on the screen. I was like, oh, I'm not even on the screen. I'm talking to you guys. I'm actually talking to myself pretty much. Here I am. So let's read through this, and it's just going to tell us a little bit about the court appearance and stuff like that. And it's going to give us like a rundown of everything that happened. So if anyone's here that is like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know this case. You'll find out. And it's not like doesn't take us back too far. I mean, it's not too long. So I thought it'd be pretty good. And then you're going to hear the new documents tonight. So sorry, I was reading the chat. Ashley said, I know if I was in that position, I would have to be physically restrained and escorted out for sure. Yeah, they actually did have to physically restrain him. You'd have to do the same for me. Do you see how young he looked? I mean, I guess daughter's really young, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting older or something because he looked really young. The 4 people accused in the murder and kidnapping of 2 Kansas women made their initial court appearance on a Wednesday at 9:30. I think this was on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. in Texas County, Oklahoma. And I'm going to say this really quick. You start to figure out really, really fast when you're on YouTube and you read enough articles. There's always a misspelling or a misenunciation of something, or like, it's not worded correctly. And you're trying to read it and you're like, what are they saying here? That's how I was right there. So Veronica Butler, age 27, and Jillian Kelly, 39, of Hugoton, disappeared on March 30th while driving to pick up Veronica's children. The bodies of the women were found on Sunday, April 14th, and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation confirmed on Tuesday that the bodies were the 2 women. The medical examiner hasn't released a report on how they were killed. This was okay. So they were found on the 24th or on the 14th. Okay. Now remember that. The charges against Tifany Adams, 54, the grandmother of Veronica's children, Tad Collum and Cole and Cora Twombly, were read in court. They are each charged with 2 counts of first-degree M, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit M. Arrest affidavits on the 4 were released on Monday. The documents revealed that Adams was involved in a custody dispute with Veronica. All 4 suspects were reportedly involved in an anti-government group called God's Misfits. Now, I don't know if there's any more of these God's Misfits. I think it's just these 4 and Paul Grice. Like, I don't know if this is an actual like national organization where they've got little chapters. I'm thinking they're it and that's it. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I think that the Barrett and Lacey Cook were also involved in that little group that they had. The judge ordered the 4 suspects to be held without bond, citing that proof of evidence or presumption of guilt is great. The district attorney said he has not decided yet if he will pursue the death penalty against the suspects. Adams, Collum, and Cole Twombly will hire their attorneys. Cora Twombly said she cannot afford an attorney, so the court will appoint one to represent her. The next court appearance in this case is May 15th at 9 a.m. Now, what do you think about that? Adams, Collum, and Cole Twombly will hire their attorneys while Cora Twombly, she can't afford one. She's going to get a public defender. If your man took a lawyer and didn't give you one and had you go get a public defender, I would be filing for divorce that same day. Can you believe that? He hired an attorney for himself, but she has to get a court-appointed one. He's like, if I'm going down, I'm not taking you with me, girl. Man. I wonder, I mean, Grandma said, everyone's saying Grandma's told, but maybe Cora did. Shit. Say Twombly 5 times. I know. It's so bad, Swally. So the Sock is the worst, like, that's the worst name, like, last name. Michelle, really? Oklahoma City bombings was today? Wow, that is sad. Wow. Maybe his parents are, or family is paying for his lawyer, not hers. That's true. That could be it, Esther. Yeah, that could be it. That's actually the only logical thing that would make sense. So maybe that's what it was. I mean, because But then again, I'd be upset at my man too if he took the lawyer. I don't know. I'd be feeling some type of way. Like, we're married, we're going down together. We did this together, we're going down together. I mean, like, that's how I would think of it. but I'm a little petty like that. The district attorney said trial could happen in the spring or fall of 2025. Now let's hope for fall of 2025, only because Brian Koberg is supposed to be going to trial. Now, I doubt that they'll go the same time, but with our luck, they will. 29 years, I'm only 38 years old. I almost said 39. I was young when that happened. I knew I was really young when that happened. So there are some new documents. It's just one new document. And I highlighted a lot of it. Let me see. I didn't go through this. I think this is just the affidavit. It is. Now let's see if this is the one that has the other two. Yeah, it does. Okay. I'm just making sure. No, some of this is different. Sorry, guys. I just want to get it right. I thought that I didn't scroll down. I just noticed, I was like, wait, there's 7 pages. I just noticed that now. Okay, so it stops right here. This is the last one. So the OSBI. Okay. And then all of that will be different. Okay, cool. So now I know. That didn't take too long, did it? So at least I'll know what the new stuff is. We'll know what the new stuff is in the affidavit. And I'll break down like a little bit of the affidavit for you guys. And sorry, I'm scrolling to from everywhere. I hate when people scroll up and down on the screen. That's like the worst for me. I'm like, you're making me seasick, dizzy. Let me blow it up a little bit for everybody. Oh, I don't think so. I was just reading the chat. I was trying to clean my glasses off a little. Okay. So this is going to be the new affidavit that came out. And this is going to be for Tifany Adams. I didn't see any new ones so far for the other 3 defendants, but I did find this one. And this one was filed April 16th. So just a few days ago. But it's a motion to hold defendant without bail. And it just says, please, hold her without bail. Defendant should be held without bail. So anytime that the documents are highlighted in pink, it's going to be for the prosecution side. And so this says defendant should be held without bond. And I'm going to give you the reasons why, because they list 5, but I'm going to I'm going to read all 5 and then I'll give you the 2 or the 3. I'm sorry. So all it says here, Article 2, Section 8 of the Oklahoma Constitution, as cited by Brill versus Gurick, states the following: all persons shall be bailable by sufficient sureties, except that bail may be denied for 1, capital offenses when the proof of guilt is evident or the presumption thereof is great. I didn't want to cough in your guys' ear. Number 2, violent offenses. 3, offenses where the maximum sentence may be life imprisonment or life imprisonment without parole. 4, felony offenses where the person charged with the offense has been convicted of 2 or more felony offenses arising out of different transactions. And 5, controlled dangerous substances offenses where the maximum sentence may be at least 10 years imprisonment. All of these offenses specified in paragraphs 2 through 5 of this section, the proof of guilt must be evident or the presumption must be great, and it must be on the grounds that no condition of release would assure the safety of the community or any person. Meaning, if they get out, they may do something to someone else. The defendant's actions meet the above criteria or categories 1, 2, and 3, and thus under the Oklahoma Constitution, the denial of bail is appropriate. So the categories were that they were, they used were the capital offenses when the proof of guilt is evident and the presumption thereof is great, violent offenses, And offenses where the maximum sentence may be life imprisonment or life imprisonment without parole. So those are the three that they're looking at. And then it just goes, the defendant's actions met the above, 1, 2, and 3 under the Oklahoma Constitution. The denial of bail is appropriate. And then down here, it says the defendant and conspirators attempted said crime previously on both traveling to Hugoton in the attempt to lure Veronica out of her home and additionally planning to organize her death by throwing an anvil through her windshield while she drove down the road. Now, I thought the anvil and what, they ended up going with was, cutting them off the road. I thought those were in the same instance that they were going to use the anvil, but then they didn't. I didn't realize until I read this, they were 2 separate instances. And then the third one was her house. So there was 2 different times that we know of before they succeeded in trying to unalive her. The first time when she was at home, they were planning to organize about the anvil, but the first time when they, tried to off her, she was at home and she just wouldn't come out. Now, I don't know how many people she maybe saw through the door, through the window. Maybe she saw 5 people standing out there and she was like, oh, hell no. Maybe she just knew it's Tifany. I know better than to open the door. But that's what saved her, I believe, the first time. And then this time she just happened to be out in the open like that. And it's so sad. The aggravating circumstance of continuing threat to society can be established through introduction of evidence detailing the defendant's participation in unrelated crimes, as well as the sheer callousness with which a defendant commits a particular murder. The nature and circumstances of the killing itself are sufficient to show a propensity towards future acts of violence. The callous manner in which the crime is committed may support a finding of continuous threat. Both first-degree murder and kidnapping are violent offenses under the definition of 57.0.s.571. D, there shall be a rebuttal presumption that no condition of release would assure the safety of the community if the state shows by clear and convincing evidence that the person was arrested for a violation of Section 741 of Title 21 of the Oklahoma statutes. Section 741 is the provision regarding the crime of kidnapping, which is shown to be one of the crimes of which the defendant and conspirators have been arrested for. The maximum sentence for murder is death, life, or life without parole. The maximum sentence for kidnapping is up to 20 years. Really? Only up to 21 years? 20 years, not life? I feel like kidnapping should be that too. And this is the proof of guilt is evident. So it says here, see attached sworn affidavit detailing the relevant facts at this time. State would point out that after the arrest of Tifany Adams did provide a recorded statement to law enforcement indicating her responsibility for the death of the deceased. She told on herself. So that Facebook group might have been right. Might have been right about that. Grandma will confess, maybe. This is what this paperwork's saying. I don't think they're going to lie about that. I don't think they would. This isn't the defense, No need to lie about that. They got a ton of evidence. No need to, no need to lie. So apparently grandma was saying stuff. And didn't we call that when they all got arrested? We said grandma's going to flip first. Even though she was the callous to all of this, even though this was her idea. If she wouldn't have been there, I'm not saying these people would have never went out and did something horrible in their life, but I don't think that if she was there, stirring the pot, Cole, Cora, they probably would have never killed anybody. Maybe if, maybe even Tad or whatever. I think she was like the driving force behind a lot of this stuff. But you guys all did it. Y'all go down together. So no condition of release would protect the community. The facts are that in order to prevent Veronica Butler from regaining custody and or unsupervised supervision with her children, the defendant and co-conspirators were willing to commit murder. Said murder was complex and involved extensive preparation. There are statements of the co-conspirators and their problem would be taken care of because in addition to removing Veronica, they knew the path the judge walked to work. Now faced with the consequence of a sentence of death or life in prison, the defendant and conspirators would be willing to do anything since they have shown to be willing to commit capital murder in order to limit Veronica's visitation. That was very well written, I thought, because if they're willing to do this to them, they're willing to definitely do this to you. I'm going to turn my camera off real quick. I feel like there's something on it. This little, yep, I got it. I don't know what it was. It was like, I don't know, a piece of fuzz or something, guys. Can't have any of that. So let's go down here. This is the affidavit. So we've already went through the affidavit. I wonder if this is any new. No, because I already read through these because I remember because I just went down to the bottom of this. The bottom is when they say, let me get the right page. The dirt work for him. Okay, right here. If you guys have read the affidavits or if you are going to read the affidavits, I'll save you some trouble. Cora, Cole, and Tifany Adams, all of their affidavits read the same way. But on Tad's affidavit, there's 2 additional paragraphs at the end. So if you didn't know, now you know. I'm going to put this on my lip. Sorry. I hurt the side of my lip today. So I'm not trying to do that again tonight. So we're going to read the bottom part of this because I'm curious to know. I think this is like more of the investigation side and kind of maybe stuff that has come out since the PCA. So OSBI investigation showed that Adams had searched for gun shops on her cellular phone. A search of local gun shops showed Adams buying 5 stun guns at the Big R Storing Gunman. The purchase was made on March 23rd, 2024. So 7 days before, this all happened. The property near Beasley's residence, where the disturbed dirt was located, was leased by Cullum. Cullum grazed his cattle and accessed the property regularly to feed the animals. On or about March 29, 2024, Cullum used a skid steer to dig a hole and bury concrete at the site near the dam. On April 13, 2024, law enforcement agents executed a search warrant on Beasley's property. The area of disturbed dirt was excavated and the bodies of 2 individuals were discovered. The state of the bodies indicated they died as a result of foul play. Further, a stun gun was also located at the excavation site. After her arrest on April 13, 2024, during a custodial interview, Adams made statements to law enforcement indicating she was responsible for the deaths of Butler and Kelly. She didn't even last 1 day. She couldn't even last 1 day. You're a hardened criminal, You did all this. Oh, I knew what the irony is. She bought the burner phones because she was living back in 91 thinking they couldn't be traced. Do you know what traced them to the spot where they buried these people? Their cell phones, the burner phones. Criminals are dumb. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. At a hearing scheduled for April 17, 2024, Butler would potentially have been granted unsupervised visitation with her children. Adams vehemently opposed this and went to great lengths to plan and purchase items used in Butler and Kelly's murders. The crimes and the bodies were concealed and attempts were made to obscure Adams, Cullum, Cora, and Cole's whereabouts at the time of the murder. So what were the attempts? Adam, Cullum, Cole, and Cora were willing to kidnap and murder 2 victims to limit visitation for Butler. They are therefore willing to take any extreme violent measure to protect themselves and thwart the criminal justice process. Adams and Cullum have a history of violent interactions, including death threats and intimidation against individuals who disagree with their ideas. Members of the conspiracy participated in multiple attempts to murder Butler in the states of Oklahoma and Kansas. They abide by their own philosophy and have no regard for the sanctity of human life. Adams, Cullum, Cora, and Cole have resources sufficient to organize and execute a complex murder. Therefore, they also have the resources to flee if given the opportunity. At the time of his arrest, Cullum had a rifle, ammunition, body armor, and a go bag prepared at his residence. Damn. I'm glad them officers went in there like they did with the SWAT and the 20-car convoy. Wow. So he had body armor, a rifle. Okay, rifle ammunition. That's bad enough. Body armor. No one has that in their house. I mean, even if you're an avid like gun collector, you don't have body armor. You're not thinking about that. No one's wearing body armor going out in the woods hunting. And a go bag. So he had a go bag. Like if he needed to freaking run, grab the bag and go. Like, are you kidding? It says, Adams and Cullum own numerous guns and other weapons. Adams and Cullum pose grave danger to witnesses and community members. No conditions exist which would effectively assure the safety of the community or any person involved in this case, including court officials, should Adams and Cullum be released. So they're just like really hard. I mean, they're going hard on Adams and Cullum, on Tad, on Tifany, Grandma, and her boyfriend Tad, because right here they don't say anything really about like Cole and Cora, other than they have the resources to like, you know, execute the murder, but they don't have anything like body armor and stuff like that. They don't have go bags. They don't have, I guess they're saying they don't have people that they can influence as much as Tifany and Tad. It's crazy. Oh, you have armor. I see. I don't just see like the regular person having armor. You know what I mean? Like usually you have it for something. I don't know. I think that, but you think you would. So the next video I'm going to show you a video now. It's because I think that's all of the document. Let's just scroll through because you know me. Okay, that's it. I don't know why it says like page 4 on the bottom, but I think it's because that's like the end of that part of it. My mom bought wine from a box. Mary Beth, the best kind of wine is box wine. The only kind of wine to drink is box wine. That's the best kind. What do you mean? Yeah. Ashley knows what's up. The Moscato. You always go with the Moscato. Yeah. Buy some hair dye at the local Sally's. Get your sister-in-law to do it. Drink a bottle of box wine. That's what I used to do. I came out as a blonde one time. And your girl wasn't. She shouldn't be a blonde ever. I was supposed to have highlights. We got a little drunk. So this is going to go over Brian in the courtroom today and what he saw. He is going to talk about like there were snipers up on the roof. I guess it was a big deal. Now I know it's a big deal, but I don't know. Just I guess I mean having 4 people, you know, murder suspects going into court, you would think that there would be officials out there, you know, not with guns drawn per se, but maybe just like with, you know, them on them. But this courthouse had snipers on the roof. They were scanning people in the parking lot. You don't even need to walk through the metal detector. We're going to scan you right on here as soon as you get out of the car. Like, I mean, you know, how convenient. Wish they do that at the airport. But the family was very, very, very upset today or the other day whenever they went to court. And I could see why. Hey, Phoenix. So I don't know. I feel really bad for these ladies. I feel so bad for Jillian's husband. I heard that he was in the hospital. I don't know if he's out now. I don't know if it's something that just like put him over the edge and, you know, he got sick or if it's something like more like mentally, but I did hear he was in the hospital. I'm going to
News Nation's national correspondent Brian Enton was right there, front row, actually, for all of it. He joins me now live. Brian, you've had a hell of a day. I know that you expected it would be tense
They
in that
put him in the
courtroom,
front row
but I'm
too.
sure you did not expect how intense it was going to be. And start from the beginning when you arrived and saw snipers on the roof.
Yeah, so this was a unique court experience. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it in Texas County, Oklahoma, a small courthouse. We show up, and I immediately notice that there's sheriff's deputies everywhere, snipers up on the roof of the courthouse for security. There is a police drone in the air, actually, that they're flying over the small parking lot. They've got deputies out in the parking lot with those metal detector wads.
Drones.
And before you could go into the courthouse, right in the parking lot in the middle, you had to spread your arms. They checked you, obviously, no electronics, no cell phones. I was wearing a hoodie. I couldn't even wear my hoodie. They said, you have to take your hoodie off and take it back to the car. I've never had that happen before. So finally get inside. We go up to the third floor, small little quaint courthouse, very, very small courtroom. And that's when sort of the emotions just exploded, Ashley.
Okay, so now walk me through, again, a small courtroom and 4 defendants. Normally, you've got 1 defendant, and it's hard to fit people in a courtroom when it's a big media circus. But you guys, the media, were given the front row, which is very strange. We're usually pushed at least halfway back or to the back. Why were you all in the front row?
Yeah, so small courtroom. And the first thing I wondered was, this is interesting. I've never been allowed to sit in the front row before. I later realized it was actually a very good move by the court administration. So we sit down, they brought the suspects in one by one. So they didn't bring them all in at the same time. And they marched them right through the middle of this little courthouse, by the way. You saw they come out the front door, the video you're looking at. So there's no like back hallway or anything like that. So that was interesting. And they bring them in one by one. And there's about 24 family members of the victims in the back 2 rows. And it is just another level of emotion, sobbing, crying. And then when each person came in, they weren't yelling, but they were talking loudly enough for everyone to hear and directing things at the suspects during the court hearing. I've never seen it before. And I wrote down some of the things they said. When Cole Trumbull came in, Veronica.
Like, Brian Enton is so uncomfortable right here when he has to like say the cursey words. The cursey words. He doesn't like saying the cursey words.
Veronica's dad said bastard, bastard.
Well, not that part, but
When
the other ones.
Tad Cullum came in, they said, you are a sorry ass piece of, you know what, I'm not going to say what they said, a bad word. And when Grandma Tifany came in, they said, effing B word who killed my daughter. And this is
it was a
while
different
the
video. The
others
other one I'll show
are
you.
sobbing. And then at one point, not at one point, pretty much throughout the entire thing, it took about an hour for them to get through each one of the suspects. They had to hold Veronica's dad back. And it was his family members were literally holding on to each arm because he wanted to rush the suspects. And I guess it was just, I've never seen it before, because normally when people get emotional in a courtroom, they will stop. The bailiff will say, everybody, we understand this is emotional, but, please. That didn't happen here. It just moved on.
I got to be honest with you. I feel like I would have done the same. I know courtroom protocol. Yeah. I know decorum, but I'm not so sure I could have held back. I think someone would have had to hold me back if someone had done that to my child.
I know she's got some connections too. And if she has to be in general population, I don't know why they're not segregated, but the girl's got her hair done. Unless she can do a French braid like this. I mean, maybe y'all can do one. I can't even do a French braid on someone else's head. Not even a little bit. Couldn't even do a regular braid. But she has a French braid in, and she somehow has gotten herself a hold of, or actually made herself something to hold her hair up in, like a hair tie. They don't give you those in jail. They don't give you a hair tie in jail. You don't come in, get your dress, colors, and they say, here's your hair tie. If you come in with your hair pulled up with a hair tie, they throw that away. You don't get that. So someone's braiding her hair, or she's double jointed somehow and can you do it? Can you do a French braid on yourself? I don't know. Maybe you can. It is a little messy. But yeah, it almost looks like she has a shirt underneath her uniform too. And those aren't normally given either. Normally you have to wait until commissary to buy one. So she might be in general population. Someone may have given her one.
It is interesting though that you say nothing stopped them. Like the judge didn't say order in the court, bailiffs, please get the gallery under control. There was no attempt to.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
To sort of quell those actions.
No,
Looks
I
a
will
little
say
too
the
good for
deputies sort of
me.
gathered around that area where the victims' families were, so they
Yeah, I
were
remember
ready. I
that.
mean, if he was to get away from them holding him, but again, I think the judge felt it too. I mean, you just felt so deeply for these families, Ashley. The emotion, the sadness. I can't even really explain it. You could see it in their faces, just how distraught they were. So maybe that's why the judge just sort of let it carry on. I mean, it was hard not to just feel bad for them.
I mean, just so heartbreaking in every respect. So, and also perplexing, just perplexing. So you said the dad, Veronica's dad, lunged at the defendants, and his sister, which would be Veronica's aunt, held him back. You met both of them, Veronica's dad and Veronica's aunt, outside the courthouse. What'd they say to you?
Yeah, so this sort of strange scene continued outside the courthouse because they basically kept everybody seated, and then they bring the suspects right out through the middle of the small courthouse, right out the front door, through the parking lot. The video you're looking at, they came in, they went out, and there was a crowd of people out there, local people watching, and there were also family members of the suspect out there. It was Tad's sister. I wrote down what she said. She said that he would never hurt a woman. She was screaming that outside while all of this was happening. And then the victims'
But he
families
would,
came out,
two of
and I
them.
spoke with Veronica's dad and aunt. Again, just feel terrible for them.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Sorry about that. I hate when she does that. Oh, you're talking about your car, I think. I'm like, what? If I could see the back, it looks like she tucked the braid up so she wouldn't need an elastic. Bet you that's what she did. Because sometimes they'll take some of the string like out of their like uniform and stuff. I mean, I know my way around, and not me, not because of me. It was too many people. I just know. No, I know a lot of people that have been in and out of the county. In and out. Way too many times. And they'll straight tell you, no, you don't get nothing. Now, maybe that's just where I grew up. Maybe they don't give you nothing, but they don't do nothing. What will ruin your hair? I'm like, what'd she say? Because I always be doing that. But so Brian Enton was there where the bodies were actually buried. And I forget who was in the chat the other night. And they said, they were trying to explain to me what the dam was. Cause I was like, a dam has water flowing. How are they buried under the dam? I was like genuinely confused. And I think a lot of people were kind of confused about that. And somebody came in and said, no, it's a dam, like kind of like an empty bottle, a body of water, like where there'd be like a creek bed, something like that, but be empty. That made sense. That helped me with the visual. And then now Brian Enton is there. And I'm like, oh, I saw pictures of it earlier before it was dark. And it looks just like that person said. Now, the whole, let me find that picture. They were talking about okay, remember the picture of this one here? And they were calling this an elevator in the back. Now, is it this silo that's laying down? Is that a silo laying down, the gray thing, like fallen down? Or is the elevator part somewhere else that I'm just not seeing? An empty manure pit. Thank you. And a pasture field. Oh, ugh. I delivered cattle next door to theirs. Wow. Dairy hauler, you ain't messing around. Right next door. Wow. It wasn't this guy's property, was it? Because this person they was right. The same day that they were arrested, the suspects were arrested, this person had posted this picture on there. And we were just like, what is this thing? What's going on with this? I still don't see the elevator part. Unless that's a silo fell on its side. That's a building, right? An elevator is a grain elevator. That's what I thought. That you go up, like you can go up on, right? I just don't see it. Do you know where the I just can't find the elevator thing. That's probably because I can't maybe see very well. I mean, I can't. And this is a blurry picture. But I just wanted to bring that up because I was like, wow. Because because they'll show you the property that the bodies were found on, and it was literally this property. And I was like, this person posted this on Facebook like forever ago. It seems like 14th, but it seemed like it was a while before. So, and this person says that they're an adjacent neighbor. So that is a feedlot. Okay. 2 white things sticking up behind that tree. Oh, wow. Y'all could tell that's what that was? Man, y'all got some great eyes. Y'all have some fantastic eyes. Wow, I see it now. Why didn't anyone just say look behind the trees? Thanks, JD. Thank you. Well, that makes sense. Okay, we'll move on to the next. I'm glad I just wanted to come up and say something because of the whole 14th, and then that's when their bodies were discovered. And this person's anonymously going on Facebook saying, the 14th, they're going to find these ladies soon on this property. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. But thank you guys for letting me know where it was. Now I could see it. It's just very blurry. But maybe I could find the picture from during the day. Thank you, Mary Beth, for gifting a membership. Also, that's very nice. PKC just got gifted.
Area where the missing women were found. This is the spot. You remember in the police report they mentioned a dam. This right here, this buildup of dirt. This is the dam. There's a pond on the other side. And if you walk with me this way, just about 50 feet or so, maybe a little more from the dam, you can see where the earth is disturbed, where the tractors were out here. This is where investigators came. They dug right in this area, went down about 10 feet, I'm told. And
10 feet. They were trying to bury those women so deep that you might not be able to see that with sonar or something. That is a lot to dig up. To me, in my opinion, that was done before this, like way before this. I feel like that guy Beasley said that he was on the property the day before. I wonder how long it would take you with a backhoe kind of deal to bury, get up 10 feet of soil to place in 2 people and then to place in the concrete and the hay, Very weird.
This is where they discovered the missing moms' bodies. If you look in the distance there, you can see there is a pile of hay back there. I am told by sources that hay was moved over the area where the digging happened, that the suspect Tad, moved that hay over here to cover up the area where he was digging, hoping that the cows, this is there's a cow farm here, that the cows would come over, this is a ranch, and start feeding on the hay and make the area look less suspicious. But still, investigators were led to this spot. And again, this is the area right here where they started digging and they found the bodies.
You think about that. They thought this through for a minute. Instead of just putting them on a hog farm, you know what I mean? Throwing them into the hogs. They're like, no, that's too easy. We're going to dig up 10 feet worth of ground, right? And then is it even, I don't know what the temperature is in Oklahoma this time of year, but you could probably go through the ground pretty easily, I guess. But that's 10 feet. Then we're going to bury them here and we're going to put hay on top. Hopefully the cows will come over here and just hang out. Now, would cows dig up a person? I guess not, especially if it was 10 feet down on the ground, but curious.
Remote area, Ashley, very, very difficult to get to. Again, you go down the dirt road and then you have to walk all the way out there. There's really not much out here at all in any of these areas in Western Oklahoma, but cattle land and ranches and windmills, by the way. If you see the blinking red lights behind me, if you're wondering what those are the windmills. At night, they have these blinking red lights on them. I almost thought it was an airport at first. So nothing out here but windmills and cows, Ashley.
So tell me about the adjoining property to the property where the graves were dug. The neighbor who lives adjacent actually saw what was going on, saw the police showing up with the backhoes. Tell me a little bit about the neighbor.
Yeah, so the neighbor did spot what was happening. I mean, when, the convoy of state and local law enforcement moved in, obviously shocking to everyone. First of all, the property owner who owns and was leasing the land to Tad Cullum is shocked by all of this. Had nothing to do with the murders. Can't believe they found the bodies on his land. His neighbor, though, is also just knows everybody involved. Like,
I mean, how shocked are you? Okay. How shocked are we going to try to be? Because in that PCA, in this affidavit, he says that Tad asked him, hey, can I come and dig up a tree stump, knock down a tree, dig up a tree stump, and bury it somewhere on the property? And then in the same breath, he says, yeah, they're looking for me for these 2 women that disappeared. Do you think that Beasley guy is that dumb to not put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, there's fresh dirt on my property? I mean, even if it's adjacent to his property, he knows. Tad asked him if he could bury a tree stump. Well, where's the fallen tree? Look around. Where's the fallen tree at, Beasley? I mean, my mind would wonder, I would wonder. I'm not saying he had anything to do with it, but I'm saying my mind would be like, why did he want to dig up dirt on my property? And now he's telling me there's 2 missing people that they're looking at him for. I'm like, I don't know.
So many around here, knows all 4 suspects, knows both victims, knows all of their families, is upset about the rap that their community is getting nationwide because, there's a lot of just good farmers and family people out here. This is what he told me.
Did you know everyone involved?
Yes.
Wow. That puts, I mean, a lot of people here are in the same position, but that must just be emotionally,
It is.
it's tough.
It's hard. It's very hard. And, they all come from great families and their families are still great. They're brothers and sisters and mothers, fathers. They're all people that I've known all my life and think a lot of and still do. We can't let the acts of one reflect badly on everybody. We're not guilty by association.
Was it shocking in particular with these folks, having known them?
Well, it's not my place to pass judgment. That's the judicial system's job, not mine. And I'm not here to condemn or support. I'm just here to say that the people in this county are good people.
Yeah.
And we don't want this to reflect
I bet they are.
differently than what we really are. We're not cults and we're not misfits, and we're just hardworking ranchers and farmers. And odds are, if you've eaten beef or you've eaten pork or you've eaten bread, odds are the people in this area had something to do with providing the products that made those things that we all survive on. And we're not demons. We're just not.
Ashley, I've seen several grown men, ranchers, get tears in their eyes over the last couple of days talking about this situation. Again, just because not only do they know all of the suspects, but they also know the victims. They know the area where the bodies were found. They know the landowner. Everybody knows everybody. And it's just still a very, very emotional time.
I'm sure that they're just all rocked by the notion that they may be painted with the same brush, which is just horrible to think of. Speaking of those who are out there and everyone knowing everyone, thank you for watching.
I knew it. I think this is the next one. I was trying to get them in order. So I'll play the next one. Oh, thanks, Betsy. Yeah, these small towns have prominent families. Yeah, I mean, every small town, I'm not on the screen again, y'all. Every small town has them, I feel like. I mean, we did. They were always the most unhinged. The more prominent, the more unhinged in my town anyway. I mean, just saying. So I want to show you guys this third video here, and it's just the end of, I think it's the rest of that interview, and her eyes are closed, but that's okay. That's all right. But thank you guys all for being here. If you guys don't mind just hitting the like button. If you guys have any questions, let me know at the end, and I will answer any questions that you guys have. If I missed any questions in the live, just let me know. I'm going to try to keep on the answer the questions at the end of the live. That way, it's just easier. Easier for me to go through the live. That way, I don't have you guys here all night either. And I'm going to try to keep the lives to an hour, hour and a half, something like that. That way, it's I don't bore you to death either. But stick around, like I said, and at the end of this live, I will tell you about a new case that I want to cover on the channel.
What is the story with that mystery fifth man, Paul Grice? He is listed all throughout the affidavit.
Yeah, we would love to know.
Teenage daughter of the Twombleys who were arrested and charged with the murder. She says that Paul Grice was present for the planning. Paul Grice was allegedly there for the killings. But Paul Grice is nowhere to be seen and hasn't been arrested. Did that neighbor know him or know anything about him?
Yeah, where is old Paul? Paul.
He does. He knows him, and he knows him well. He is actually Paul Grice's landlord.
Oh.
He's his landlord, Ashley, and he was his employer at one time. So he knows him well.
Hold on, who? They're not saying the landowner, are they? Who did they say? I'm gonna go back. Who did they say said this? Hopefully I can get right here. But
she says that Paul Grice was present for the planning. Paul Grice was allegedly there for the killings. But Paul Grice is nowhere to be seen and hasn't been arrested. Did that neighbor know him or know anything about him?
He does. He knows him, and he knows him well. He is.
Okay, so the adjacent neighbor. Okay, this is a lot. So one neighbor, Beasley, has property that he rents or he leases out or whatever, to Tad Cullum. And now the adjacent neighbor has property that he rents to Paul Grice, and he used to be his employer. How big is this town? Oh, I did Paul. That's his new name. He already got it. That anybody that's named Paul from there on out, thank you, Alec Murdoch.
Actually, Paul Grice's landlord. He's his landlord, Ashley, and he was his employer at one time. So he knows him well. We heard from several sources, and this is new, that Paul Grice was called in. He was actually put into custody at one point and questioned by the police, and then he was released.
Was he the weakest link?
Why exactly he was released, we don't know. Apparently, they didn't have the evidence to keep him. And talking to that neighbor again and his landlord, he says that Paul Grice is a nice man, and he thinks that people need to hold off on judgment right now. Listen to what he said about that.
Did you know Paul Grice?
Yeah, I know of him, and he has a young family, very nice guy.
Hold on. This is coming from the guy that rented him the property, though. I'm just going to say that. You know what I mean? Like maybe he didn't see him for that kind of person. Maybe he didn't want to see him for that kind of person. Also, whoever baled all that hay in the back, wow, you must be extremely strong. Oh, they use machines now, don't they? Never mind.
He's the kind of guy to come
My
up,
dad used
shake
to
your
bale
hand,
hay.
say hi, and anytime I've been around him, he's just been out cleaning and working hard and taking care of cattle, and he seems to be a good guy. My understanding is that he was taken in and questioned, and apparently the OSBI and FBI didn't think it warranted arresting him. So I guess he's not in custody. So I have no reason to believe they had anything to do with it.
Yeah, a lot of people are questioning it just because he's named in the reports and wondering why he's the one who wasn't arrested.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you. I know he's a good man from what I know of him.
And again, we've learned from several sources, and this is new, that Paul Grice was taken into custody and questioned and then released. So apparently whatever the daughter of one of the suspects said about him being involved, they just weren't able to find the evidence of at this point. So he is out. He's in the community right now, and a lot of people are standing by him, Ashley.
Wow. Well, listen, you can be in conversations about something, but in order to be a conspirator, you have to act in furtherance. And maybe that's when if the teenager's telling the truth in the affidavits, maybe that's when he said, you know what, I'm out of here. And the reports got back to her.
No, Banfield. Couldn't be, because Paul Grice was there when they went to Veronica's house and tried to offer the first time. So no, Banfield. No, he already had tried this once with all of them. He was there. It wasn't like he was like, oh, what? No, they were driving there with a purpose. It's 45 minutes away. He knew where he was going. I'm telling you, I've been reading these documents and I reread them like 7 times over.
Differently, but maybe he's got an alibi. Who knows? Quick question about the next actions in this case. When are all 4 back in court? What do we see next?
Okay, so May 15th, 9 a.m., they're going to be back in court. They are all in the process of getting new lawyers. Tifany Adams, Tad Cullum, Cole Twombly say they are all going to get private attorneys. Cora Twombly was the only one at the hearing who said she was going to want a public defender, which is kind of interesting considering Cole Twombly is getting a private attorney. But again, let's not forget, some of these folks have a lot of money, especially Tifany Adams and Tad Cullum. They've got the resources to pretty much get whatever lawyer they want, from what we're told. They own thousands of acres of land. Tad Cullum in particular, Ashley, I'm hearing over and over again, is particularly wealthy. So it's going to be interesting to see what legal teams show up because they didn't have lawyers at the first hearing. And so who's gonna be the lawyer come May 15th? That's gonna be really interesting because they've got the money.
And Tad and Tifany are not married. So their spousal, like, where they don't have to testify against each other in court, that's thrown out the window because, I mean, literally, they're not married. No legal binding for that.
And whether their defense is going to be, he did it, she did it, she did it, he did it. That's always fascinating.
Yes. Are they going to turn on each other?
Oh, they are.
Such a good point.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's usually what happens in these cases. So, so much to look at. Thank you, Brian. And such incredible work.
She's going to yell at us, so I'll just turn off there. But yeah, so Brian has been doing incredible work. But let's not say anything. Let's not put Nancy Lou in the back seat on the back burner because Nancy was there in the beginning. Nancy Lou was there for like a week straight. And then Brian came in to take over because I think she needed a little break. But Banfield was like, he's been working this since the beginning. And I was like, maybe behind the scenes, but our girl Nancy was out there. Oh, they're going to throw each other under the bus, 100%. Like, I mean, they're going to. I hope the 16-year-old's protected also. So I'm pretty sure they probably have her in some sort of protective custody. I would for surely think that. I mean, if they have snipers up on the buildings when they're coming into court, I think that they would get her and her brother into some sort of, maybe not so much her brother because he really didn't have anything to say. He might be with a grandparent, but definitely this 16-year-old girl, CW, that's what they said her initials are. Right? And when it doesn't even affect them, yeah, Colleen, like, that's what I said. I'm like, did she possibly think, did she seriously think that she was just going to commit this murder and no one was going to look at her? I mean, she had to have known she was going to go to prison for the rest of her life. And she doesn't want her son to have the kids because, I mean, she's already been fighting tooth and nail with him also. So why wouldn't she keep herself out of jail and try to fight for custody for him? Because she knew she wasn't going to get it. That's why. She knew she wasn't going to get it. So maybe it was her way of being so damn stubborn where she just was like, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to unalive her. It's just crazy. Now, I want to see that. I want to see Paul Grice. Lori, yeah. They don't follow the rules. They don't follow the law. Next time I get pulled over, I don't follow the law. You're not giving me that ticket. No, I don't follow the law, Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Lawman. Yeah, JD, that cell phone carrier did really well. Now you're never going to see the kids again, Granny. Right, Solo? Sorry, Granny. She's God's misfit. That's Mary Beth. That's probably true. She probably was like, she's probably going to court going, law don't apply to me. Now, one of them guys are going to crack and do some shit like that. They're going to do something crazy. They're going to go up to in court and be like maybe they'll be in tongues or something. I don't know, but something's going to be crazy because this has happened before. I don't remember the case, but it was a guy that was going to court. I saw it on like one of those like court PD or whatever it's called, like court, or I forget. It was on like A&E. I forget what it's called. Anyway, I don't watch it very often, but it was a guy that was like talking in tongues, and he said he was some religion that no one's ever. I've never heard of it. I don't even think it was real. I think the judge even like had looked into it, and it wasn't even like real. And all they wanted to do was give him a ticket for like marijuana or something stupid. And I think he coked up in the courtroom. if I'm not mistaken. I think he did. I think he toked up in the courtroom. It wasn't a big profile case. It was just like one of those like little ones I saw. I hurt the side of my mouth today, guys. Now I can't find my chapstick. Thanks, Ghost. But I don't think that Paul Grice, he needs to come forward and say something, even if it's with an attorney. I talked to the police. I told him what I know. See ya. Thank you. Bye. I mean, that would be, but him just being, I'm wondering if they have him in some sort of protective custody and they're going to keep him as a witness because he literally was there the night they went to Veronica's house to try to lure her out. Those are supported by Google or, Google searches by Tifany, how to lure someone out of their house. She's not the brightest bulb. I mean, they never are. I always love the Google searches. Before anyone was arrested in this case, I said, I can't wait to see the Google searches. They didn't disappoint. They didn't. He's serious. Working and lurking. I always wondered what you guys do for jobs and stuff. Because I used to work in a boutique, like inside a boutique. I never did YouTube. I never listened to YouTube back then, but I listened to music all the time. I was like folding clothes or doing whatever. And I'm just like, there's nobody in the store. And I don't want to listen to this song over again, because a lot of time, and Christmas time, I did that. Ugh. Can't do it. Well, for Sophia says they want lawyers. Touche. So, do they have their own personal lawyers and their Soviet citizen group? Maybe he's trying to protect himself and his children. Maybe. He shouldn't get away scot-free. I don't think so neither. I don't think anybody should. This was horrific. This was planned. This was not just planned like overnight. This wasn't like we're having a couple beers and we're getting a couple friends to help us. What the hell? How do you get two? Okay. You got the grandmother. She's the mastermind. We already know she's the monarchy and all this, right? I could see how she could convince Tad. You know what I mean? Women can get men to do a lot of things if they need to. Not that so much, but I mean, if you're in that kind of relationship, yeah. So she probably got Tad in first, and it was probably with a lot of tears and a lot of, I can't believe Veronica and, all of that. So then how do you get Cole and Cora Twombly to like be in on it? I mean, are you literally just at one of your meetings for your God's misfits and you're like, I want to off this girl on Saturday morning. You want to help me? Like, sure. Like, I mean, I just don't know how you get there. Now, I guess maybe because you're in a group of people and you want to be like, not left out. But Paul Grice was there and did he say, yeah, me too? I don't know. Oh, she's been planning this forever, Tammy. She tried to get her out of her house. I forget when that exactly was, but it was like a couple months before, I think February, March or something. Where is Bliss? I don't know. Mary Beth. She's not here tonight. Maybe she's with her grandkids or something. Sometimes they come. Oh, wow, Ghost. That's awesome. Medical assistants are the best. Nurses too. Yeah, I haven't had a response back yet. Let me see. Nope. I don't see anything. So, okay. I'll look though. I'll look better when we get off here. But yeah, I haven't heard anything. I think that's all we have. I was trying to think of like what else I needed to tell you guys, if anything. Oh, I want to tell you about that other case. So that's all really that has to like deal with Jillian and Veronica as of right now. Now I will keep my eye on like the Facebook groups, things of that nature. And if there's any updates, I'll get them out to you as soon as I can. If it's a small update, shorter than if it's like an article or two like that, I'll probably just do a pre-recorded video for you guys. That way it's not drug out to an hour and a half live. But they're not going to be due back in court until next month. So we might not hear anything until then. But then again, they may start talking to each other in jail. I'll make sure that I put in a records request for jail calls and things of that nature. Also, I'm going to do that for Ruby Frank Frankie as well. I always call her Ruby Frank because when I watched a guy and that's what he called her, like before she was arrested. And he was from another country. Apparently he didn't know it was Frankie and I didn't either. So if I call her that, that's why. But I wanted to give you guys this. It's about a missing Marine. And I saw his picture earlier today. This is him down here. And thought he was adorable. He looked wholesome. He looked like, you know what I mean? He looked like a Marine. So when I saw that, I started I listened to I think it was, did I read or listen to it? I can't remember. It was like one article about it. So there's not that much information about this yet, but I wanted to get the story out. Isn't he the cutest thing ever, Ghost? I thought he was too. I thought he was just adorable. Adorable. Very cute. If I was 20 years old, I would think that he was adorable, even more adorable. But he was downtown, I think San Diego. We'll read this here in a minute. He was with some friends and they kind of reminds me of Riley Strand. He got arrested for public intox. He was sent down to the local drunk tank, get sobered up. He was released, I think 8:00 that morning. He was supposed to be at the command at a certain hour that morning and he didn't make it. So he was already, I guess, talked to his sister, was already upset, that he was going to lose his rank. And he was just super upset. So when I first heard that part, I was like, oh, maybe he just ran off. But then his sister was like, he would not run off. He would come and be like, this is what, I did miss my time, but here I am. She also said that his bank accounts have all been depleted. And that they were depleted the same night and they were at different ATMs and for different amounts, some of them for larger amounts, like large amounts. Now, to me, that sounds like a robbery. To me, that's what it sounds like. Somebody maybe robbed him, put him in the car, got his PIN number somehow, you know what I mean? Told him, you're going to ride with us. We're going to get all this money. Then we'll let you go. Didn't let him go. I don't know, but this just doesn't sound good to me. I hope he's found. I hope he's found safe, and I hope he's brought back to his family. But it says here, North Carolina family is trying to locate missing Camp Pendleton Marine Corporal Charles Alex Benfield. Benfield was in San Diego over the weekend when he was detained for public intoxication, then released on Sunday. Alex's sister, Sarah Lazo, explains what the front desk there relayed to authorities. He was saying how he was scared he was going to lose his rank because they had to meet that following morning at 8 a.m. I can understand him being scared to show up after missing a meet, but to completely fall off the face of the earth basically is unlike him at all. Benfield loved his job and just re-enlisted for 4 more years with the Marines this past fall, so they can't accept that he would choose to abandon his duties. Benfield's family says Alex is active duty and NCIS is investigating. San Diego police cannot declare him a missing person. Don't know why. Why are we not declaring him a missing person? San Diego? He's missing. He walked out of the jail and he's no longer here and his bank accounts are depleted. Do you think he just ran away? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mary Beth, for getting on membership. And look at that, Betsy got it. Bet you she's excited. So it does say here that his phone is dead, but pinged last at the San Diego Police Department. His financial activity is also raising more questions. His bank was cleared out with no money left in it. There were several big amounts of money taken out at different ATMs. The family has tried calling hospitals, hotels, even the medical examiner. The NCIS is asking anyone with information to submit tips online. And there's this picture again. I think that he's just adorable. I hope he's found okay. He looks like a wholesome person. You know what I mean? Wholesome guy. I really hope they find him. But I did want to put that out tonight because I was like, man, I might just do a short video on it as well. Maybe a TikTok or something, just to get his name out there. But I mean, there's this picture. He's missing. I don't even know how old he is. I don't even know if it says on here. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if they have they might not have a missing flyer for him because he's not, they're not saying he's missing, but I bet his family has something for him. Yeah, let's see. We've got right here. This is really small. Okay, it's like a TikTok, I think, or something. Oh, it's web sleuths, but how do I blow it up? This is going to be the smallest picture, I think. Yeah, it is. Okay, let me try to like blow this up a little bit. Okay, let me see it real quick. Sometimes I can do it whenever I'm not on the camera. I don't know why that is. That's weird, isn't that? Okay, let's see if I can do it now. Yeah, look at that. I'm not going to be able to read it. Okay, let me try to find another one. Yeah, that's like way too blurry. But we'll share it. Let me see if I can find like an actual missing flyer. There's this one. Okay, here we go. What's this? We got it in some Facebook, like some sort of Facebook group, but I don't see it now. It like took me to the Facebook group, but put me all the way back to the top. All right, guys, don't do that to me. Let me see. Of course, there's like no missing flyers, really. Let me see if this is it. Okay, found one. Okay. So Charles Alex Benfield, he's 5'4". I don't think, is that right? 5'4" is kind of like short, but whatever. 5'4", roughly 170, dark brown hair, and tattoos. He has his right forearm done. Not in a danger to himself or others. How can you kind of put that on a flyer? I mean, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is at all. Like, I'm not saying he's a danger to others, but how do they know that they don't know if he would harm himself? I guess just taking the family's word for it. But it says Alex was last seen in San Diego on April 14th at a recovery center around 11:30 a.m. He had been picked up by the police the night before due to public intoxication, then taken to a recovery center. After self-release from the center, he left to look for his phone that he had lost the night prior. His tattoos are a skull and flowers with a knife going through it, and one saying Rahi is active duty in the Marines. Or Raw, sorry. Stationed at Camp Pendleton until 1:11. Please, if you have any information or seen him, contact us at WhatsApp. Okay, I wouldn't contact anybody at WhatsApp, but that's okay. I don't know. Who would have a WhatsApp? I don't know. But that's what they're saying. Weirdly kind of looks like you. Are you saying you're him? He is, let me see, does it say? It said, I thought. It doesn't. How old is this guy? How old are you, Charles? Let me see if I can find it. It's taking me back to Crime Time with Bobby, but that's where we were. I don't know how old he is. Now, maybe I'll figure that out today, but what? Did you hear about the guy that caught himself on fire in front of the Trump rally or Trump trial? Man, that's crazy. I was trying to see if there's anything on here where it would help us. Let's see. I was gonna get on here, see if maybe it'll tell us something on Twitter. Same thing, latest. Oh wait, here we go. He's 26. We got a different missing person flyer. Let me go back and retweet this one. Okay, so same information. Okay, so it says, per family, Benfield's family says because Alex is active duty and NCIS is investigating, San Diego police cannot declare him a missing person. Well, they need new rules to that. I know the NCIS is like legit awesome, and they're probably fantastic at what they do. But I forget, I was on the track to say that. But they need to, have him as a missing person, because if you're under a missing person, I feel like more people there'd be more eyes on him. as a missing person, not a missing or not someone that's active duty and maybe went AWOL somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that wouldn't get as much attention as a missing person, but you know, I don't know. But let me exit out of some of these windows because I got too much going on up here. But I think that's all I have for you guys for tonight. I just wanted to give you guys that information about Charles. Hopefully we'll get his name out there, his picture out there, all that stuff. Did Bundy look wholesome? He did, Solo. Kind of. He did. The ladies thought he was anyway, you know? He could get the ladies. I remember my mom saying that she thought he was cute. She's like, I thought he was cute when I was younger. She's like, that's so weird. I'm like, Mom, I think everybody did. I think everyone had like a weird attraction that were in that same group, not my age, but you know, my mom's age. It's like they all thought he was charismatic. That's what she would say, charismatic. Oh, yeah, that's okay. You can go back if you want. I'm gonna try to keep him around an hour and a half, and try to keep him around 9:15. I might even try to go to 8:15, but you never know. We're trying new stuff. But I'll be back on tomorrow night. Tomorrow, maybe during the day. I've been saying that forever, but I don't know. I just wake up. I woke up today, y'all. I woke up at 12:30 today. I have not woken up at 12:30 since I was a teenager. Like, what? What? I wake up at I used to wake up anywhere from 1:30 in the morning until 5 a.m. That was my window, always, every night. And I don't know if I just literally just was so tired, I didn't realize it. But Vincent just let me go. And then I woke up and I didn't even want to clean like I normally do. I was out of my element. Vincent was like, do you want me to do the dishes? And I was like, yeah. And I never do that. I usually get upset if he does something like that. I'm like, I want to do it. It gives me something to do. I'm weird. And yeah, it was crazy. I thought that you guys were going to figure out a way to do a chat group or something. I thought Ashley said something about it. I don't know exactly where to do one at. And as of right now, I don't have the time to do a Discord. I don't have time to be there to monitor a Discord. As of right now, but I mean, maybe here very shortly, because we are changing some things, moving some things around, doing some things. And I'll let you guys know as soon as we start to do those. But I'm going to do more pre-recorded videos. That's one. I want to do more pre-recorded for you guys. Telegram has a group. Oh, I didn't Telegram. I don't even know about that. You're up early every day. We're about to see. I've been sleeping in a little bit more, around 7, 8. But today it was phew. Today it was my body was like, nope, you're not doing that. So thank you guys all for being here. Thanks for talking to me a little bit at the end of the live. I appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow evening, 9:15, 9:35, somewhere around that area. And hopefully, if tomorrow isn't too busy, I'll come on and do maybe an afternoon live. But if I do, I'll put it on the community tab, and I'll let everyone know exactly what we're doing. But sometimes you guys don't have all the notifications. You don't get them all. So I like to let you guys know. If you're watching on the other channel, Unfiltered, I totally just ignore that channel tonight, except for a few times I posted in there. But thank you guys all for being over there. If you guys didn't get the memo, Titanium Built is the main channel. If you guys ever want to come over here and chat with the people in the chat. So thank you guys all for being here. If you missed our live last night, we did one over Idaho 4, new documentary that came out. The night before that, we did Quentin Simon. So try to go back and check out those lives if you don't mind. Could always use some views. If you'd like to join our channel membership, I will put the link in the chat. And I will see you guys all tomorrow evening. Have a wonderful weekend. If I don't see you, have a wonderful Saturday. Hopefully it's nice and sunny wherever you are. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.